Go. Do a crime.
Crime. We all know it, many of us have seen it, all of us have considered it, don't lie. And as far as the nature of things is concerned, when a country is in shambles, crime rates go up, especially if that country fell from grace fast. The faster the fall, the crazier and more prominent crime gets. That being said, I've got some heinous shit to show you that took place over the past couple of months in Egypt. Trigger warning. Duh. Starting off relatively light, we have a fire because we seem to have those regularly now. It's become part of the routine. They just sometimes get too big that they make news. It's not a crime really, or at least it's unknown at the time of making this video if it's a crime or not. But also it is kind of a crime if you consider the bigger picture that two entire criminal organizations by the names of the military and the government brought us to this point in the first place. Mosky fire in Egypt, shocking scenes and millions in damage. There is a report attached with this that I will read to you now. Civil defense and the fire department managed to put out a fire that lasted 9 hours in a closed storage and a residential building in Mosky area in Cairo. Preliminary estimates show the financial losses are in the millions of pounds. The Minister of Social Solidarity, Mosky, is on the case to give out financial aid to those affected, find the cause of the incident, and account for all the losses. Which is bullshit, obviously. Financial aid my ass. They're just gonna throw some petty sums of money at only a few of the affected people, take a picture in which they are the good guys, and then never talk or do anything about this ever again. I mean, these fires have been happening like crazy for months, and it doesn't seem like there's any real effort to stop them. The fire started at 2 a.m. on Friday in El Ruwa'i Street, and there is a typo in the article here. Telltale sign of being a 24 network article, which is a government-owned network, of course. Even though initial investigations show the fire resulted from an electric malfunction, investigative authorities have decided to call in witnesses and take their statements in order to find the cause, as well as seizure of security cameras in the area. And the Lieutenant General Tariq Rashid, Director of Cairo Security, mobilized to examine and supervise the site and the extent of the damage. Again, part of the show. Look, we care. We're trying to figure it out. Except if the cause is electricity, as they themselves claimed, then the problem is entirely in the government's hand to fix, but they obviously won't, by directions from the boss man himself.
Jacques, I said no cleaning. I'm ashamed.
Getting into the darker stuff now, we cannot have a report about crime in Egypt without a case of violence against women now, can we? And of course the news report is biased towards the killer. You'll see what I mean. The groom wandered with his bride's head in the street after ending her life in their consummation bed. The groom ended the victim's life because he suspected her behavior during consummation. The incident took place the next day in El Fima village, El Fatah district in Asyut. The groom is known among the village folk to be religious and respectable. He sat beside the body until the police arrived. The culprit's father fled once his son committed the crime out of fear of being reprimanded. Security forces arrested the culprit and the prosecution took over the investigation. Deplorable shit, but as sad as it is, ultimately not really new. I mean, this is Egypt, and Asyut is a southern governorate, so this is really not that surprising. As for the bias I mentioned, they blurred his face, as they always do when the killer is a man, and they had to slip in the bit about his good reputation, even though it's completely irrelevant. And also there's a bit of a discrepancy here, like the part it says he wandered down the street with her head, and then it says he sat next to the body until the cops came, like, which one was it? And even worse, they are showing no info about the victim whatsoever. Not her name, not her photo, and not even her age, which is 17 by the way, according to this tweet. A groom slayed his bride, who's 17, emphasis on the 17 part, the night of their wedding because she didn't bleed. If you're confused, there's this thing in Egypt called Dukhl al-Baladi, or local consummation, where the newlyweds do the dirty while the families of both wait outside, and the groom is to emerge triumphant with a white cloth that has her blood on it from the hymen breaking, indicating that she is a virgin and has stayed pure. And should she not bleed, because not all women bleed and a fair percentage are born without a hymen altogether, well, shit like this happens. This is what this short I made was about, by the way.
Tell me. Do you bleed? You will.
Which was part of a longer video I made about this and some other misogynistic nonsense from Egypt that I made and halfway edited and then completely forgot about somehow. I might go finish it. If you want me to, just let me know. Now that I think about it, Egypt should be the YouTuber capital instead of LA. I mean, Cody Ko, Ava Tyson, Dr. Disrespect. Just fucking move to Egypt. The age of consent is in minutes here. Anyway, back to the point. Sorry for the ADD. The prosecution began investigating and the bride's body will be examined by forensic medicine to confirm the cause of the crime. He didn't just slay her, he separated her head from her body, and the prosecution is investigating him and are waiting for the forensic medicine report that will show if the victim's vagina was virgin or not. He killed and decapitated her, but her vagina is what will determine if she gets justice or not. So literally, if someone kills a girl, the court's decision depends on examining her pussy. Obviously, that tweet wasn't very well received. I personally agree with it because the fact that they are even checking that tells you something. Like, this is a murder, cut and dry. The reason shouldn't matter this much, even if it was a good one, which it is not. Anyhow, here are some of the responses and bickering that ensued. Do you even know what forensic medicine means? Yes, I know the criminal investigations role, but let's say she turned out not virgin. Wouldn't the defense lawyer build his case around this and get the killer a light sentence? I think that would be more or less the case. And it has actually already happened before. I'm not even assuming here. Even if she cheated, does he walk away after killing her with such brutality? No, he will get a light sentence like the guy from El Mahalla who got 3 years after killing his wife. An optimist who not only thinks there's still a system in Egypt but also believes in it responded saying, no, her pussy has nothing to do with the sentence, don't worry. In the law, death penalty is based off intention, premeditation and planning and a lot of things, and he will get a heavy sentence anyway. Yeah, sure, like all the other guys who did this. That was sarcasm. Only one dude got executed for crimes against women of this kind, as far as I'm aware, Muhammad Adel from Naira Ashraf's case, and that was it. Every other case that followed, in which there was a spike, by the way, encouraged by the actions of that piece of shit, ended with a light sentence, and some have even walked away or gotten bailed out. Next.
حقك هيجي يا ابني، حقك هيجي. انا مش هينفع اجيب حق الناس ومش هينفع اجيب حق ابويا. عايز الناس كلها تقف جنبي، كل المحامين زمايلي يقفوا جنبي. انا عايز حق ابويا يجي. بيكلم مراته في التليفون، قال لها خليكي معايا في الطريق ونسيني في الطريق لحد اما اطلع طلعت الدائري او اطلع على الكورنيش واركب امبابه. وهي بتتكلم معاه فجاه هي سمعت اصوات ناس، اقف يلا اقف يلا. سمعت بعديها اخويا وهو بيقول لها قتلوني يا هند، قتلوني يا هند، خدوا حاجتي وقتلوني يا هند، اشهد ان لا اله الا الله واشهد ان محمدا رسول الله. انا اخويا اتقتل 3 ايام وهو راجع من شغله، خلص شغله في مصر الجديدة الساعة 2 بالليل. طبعا انا نزلت في المحيط بتاع مصر الجديدة، محيط شغله، قعدت هناك في المستشفيات ادور في المستشفيات، مفيش حد بالاسم ده، مفيش حد جه مجهول، مفيش حد ما عدى 3 ايام. لان ان الموضوع خلاص لازم بقى نوصل ناخد اكشن بجد. ويشاء القدر ان انا اروح زينهم امبارح الساعة 9 بالليل، واصطدم ان اخويا موجود في زينهم من يوم الاربعاء، موجود في مشرحة زينهم من يوم الاربعاء، محدش خد اكشن. يعني انتوا يا دولة فين بصماته؟ طب انتوا لما لقيتوا الجثه ما بصمتوهوش ليه؟ يعني انتوا كنتوا هتسيبوه في المشرحه لحد اما الجثه تعفن وبعدين يتدفن في الصدقه، وبعدين محضر التغير ده كان هيتعمل ويتحال اداري. انا عايز افهم، وحق اخويا المحضر المفروض ان البلاغ يقول لك بلاغ اهالي. يعني ايه بلاغ اهالي؟ كان اللي بلغ ده فين؟ واللي بلغ ده لما شاف الجثه شافها ازاي وعلى حاله ايه حاله الجثه؟ محدش يتكلم، الكلام كله متناقض. المحضر يقول لك ده مصاب طلقتين، وراح اشوف الجثه وعين الجثه الاقي الجثه فيها طلقه واحده في صدره. ايه؟ احنا فين؟ انا عايز حق اخويا، انا مش هسيب حق اخويا. اخويا ماشي ايده وطلع من شغله، لا بيه ولا عليه، مروح مسكين مروح. كلمته قبلها بساعه، قال لي يا حبيبي انا في الشغل اجيب لك حاجه، قلت له لا خلي بالك من نفسك. العيال دي من المنطقه دي فيها 5 كماين، 5 كماين وانتوا عارفين.
This one is just unnerving. This shithole is becoming a literal lawless wasteland. I mean, this happened right under the police's noses. Hell, we have to be cautious of the cops themselves, and good fucking luck getting any justice for the poor guy who got killed. If the area entrances and exits are gang spots, they coordinate with the cops and informers of that area. I swear robberies happen around the clock at bus stops, entrances and exits that are connected to El Dairi. What a shithole. I think the most disturbing part about this, though, is not the crime itself, but the reaction to it, or lack thereof. The government has all our data, trust me. If they wanted to ID him and reach his family, they could have easily done it. They just don't care.
اوعوا تفتكروا لما دولة يموت منها 25 مليون من قلة الأكل ما قاموش هدوها، قاموا يبنوها.
Another John Doe? Oh, just toss him with the rest, man, who cares? And also the morgue he was found in, Zinhum, seems to be the go-to for any unidentified person. I remember during the 2011 revolution, a lot of missing persons were eventually found dead there. I don't know if that's just a coincidence or on purpose, though, it's just something I noticed. To close out this report, how about a political assassination? Ish. A while ago there was a video leaked where some government higher-ups were discussing stolen artifacts with someone from a political party. It found its way to me, which I didn't really react because yeah, we all already know they sell artifacts. But now look at this. A shocking surprise, the death of the person who recorded the video of the leadership of a left party who are accused of smuggling artifacts. Shocking surprise, these nuts, motherfucker was killed for sure? You're not convincing me otherwise. Whether by his own party for exposing them or by the other end of the bargain present in the video for also exposing them. So he got killed because currently all artifact trading leads to Mr. President and his son, which are exactly my thoughts. And that's a wrap. As they say, if I wasn't Egyptian, I would probably be a lot happier than I am now.
It is a little bit of a mess, and already I'm getting shot at. What can I say? It's an exciting place to live.
Do the YouTube stuff, would you kindly? And support my escape if you are able to. And if you know someone who needs a hug, go give them one. Don't be lazy.